Good afternoon, everybody. Today we're here to talk about our organization and the values that we have for the way we do business. So, the first thing we're going to go through is a little bit of history. So, as you all know, we began this organization as a single bakery in St. Louis in 1987 with the thought that bread is a sustainable influence in the community. And I don't know about you, but I like bread. I like the way bread smells, and I like the way it tastes when it's just coming out of the oven. So that's not a bad thing. So a lot of other people may think that too, because we've been able to expand our organization into facilities and stores in 48 states and Canada. I think we have over 4,000 uh, retail stores and facilities right now. And with that, we have over 100,000 company and franchise associates. So you're saying to yourself, wow, that's pretty big. So how do we keep track of that? And how do we keep track of the values that we have for all of these employees and make sure that we're consistent across our entire constituency? Well, we're going to talk about that. Okay, the first thing we're going to talk about is our environmental, social, governance, and governance framework. So we brought this about a few years ago to support, a consistent value guiding framework that helps us with sustainability across all of our constituency, from suppliers to consumers. We have a balance of how we treat, how we take a look at the environment, how we take a look at our customers and our social aspects and relationships. And basically, we have faith, community, and profession basically intertwined to provide the best eating experience that we can in all of our stores. So let's move on here. So the tenets of the environmental social governance framework, or ESG, is we want to make a healthier world through clean food. What do I mean by clean food? I mean food that is not processed with antibiotics, animals that are not caged, that are held in a humane and open air environment, and are treated well, because we don't ascribe, our values don't allow us to accept anything less than that. Second, we have huge support for our employees' goals and dreams. Our employees are the base of how we get things done, and we want them to be able to have their goals and dreams, as well as, just come to work every day. I mean, you want to be happy when you work. You want to have goals. You want to have dreams. And if we as an organization, as leaders of this organization, can help the people that work for us, find those goals and dreams, either within or without, outside the organization, then we're doing our job. Part of that is, and highly related to that is serving the community, and setting the example for how we do that. We do that through, the values that we hold dear to ourselves, and how we treat our employees, because our employees are, in effect, the community that our retail stores are located in. So if we don't use them, and develop them, and let them bring that energy source back to the community, then we're doing ourselves a disservice. And at the same time, we want to respect the planet. Carbon footprint is important. packaging, recycling is important. And those all fit into our value set as as we do our daily work. So let's talk about how that all fits together, okay? Because sometimes it's hard to make the leap from, you know, um, the environmental social guidance framework and daily work of putting out food, clean food to the clientele that we have. So what we're really doing is we're building a culture, a culture of responsibility and accountability for everyone. It's not it that and that responsibility and accountability is part of the way I live, the part of the way you live, and the part of the way we expect our associates, employees, and our the people who come into our storefronts to live. We want them to realize what we're about, and we want to bring that to them so that they can, feel the way that we feel and be happy about themselves when they come into our stores. That goes along with a trust, and we want to build a belonging through trust, equity, and diversity with these local communities. We don't push anybody away. Doesn't matter who you are, you're welcome in our stores. So it's a welcoming, warm culture that we want to build along with the clean food that we provide. Again, employee development, internal promotion is key to how we relate to these communities. These employees and these associates are part of those communities, and our support for them just helps us build those relationships with the communities. And that's really what we're doing. We're trying to build long-term relationships with our communities in order to have sustainability of our product. So let's go to our organizational values. So overall, we have 3 major organizational values: kindness, love, and justice. And you think to yourself, well, hey, those are easy things to do. I can be kind to somebody. I'm not sure if I love somebody. I'm willing to treat people equally and give them due regard and justice. But I may not know how to do that, and I may not know how that relates to me as an employee or a leader in this organization. So let's talk about that. Okay, so kindness, kindness begins with empathy. What is empathy? It's basically putting yourself in the shoes of the person that you're talking to. I can't begin to understand what you're going through unless I know or try to put myself into, the mindset that you have right now, because you've just come from, maybe the worst day of your life. And really all you want to do is get something good to eat, and you want it to be quiet, and you want it to be healthy for you. That's what I'm trying to do when I try to get into your mindset. To do that, I have to be patient, okay? I can't disregard you. I can't be impatient because you may be flustered at the time and not know what you want. We have a lot of variety on the menu. Every single one of those offerings is good, but it may not fit your personal, desire at that point. But my patience in helping you pick the one that will help you make it through the night is how I bring that about. And I have to be humble, okay, because I'm not better than you. I'm just trying to help you get to the next point in your day without being an impediment to that. So I'm not trying to judge you. I'm not trying to say that, or give you advice on how to deal with your day. I'm trying to make you help you make the best choice within our store to have an enjoyable visit that helps set the tone for the rest of your day. Now, with that, you have to realize that you're putting yourself out there, and it can be a bit of a vulnerability for you to be kind. Okay, some people don't look well on some other people being kind to them. They may see it as you're trying to influence them or treat them in some way which is untrustworthy, and that's not necessarily what we're doing, and it's not what we're doing at all. Okay, we're trying to be kind to them because we actually care about them. We want them to enjoy their visit with us. So know that vulnerability exists, and that you're going to have to push through that. Okay, don't be offended by somebody who doesn't want any of your kindness. Just continue to be kind to them, get them on their way, get them what they need, and you'll be better. You'll be better for it. And the bottom line is, you really want to treat others as you would like to be treated. I mean, it's simple. I'm going to treat somebody like I want them to treat me. So if I'm mean to somebody, then hey, chances are they're going to be mean to me. But if I'm kind to that person, 99% of the time, they're going to acknowledge that kindness and come back to me with maybe not an equal amount of kindness, but at least some consideration for me as a person because I'm being kind to them. Okay, so kindness, that's one of the things we're going to focus on as a value. The next value we're going to focus on is love. Okay, and you're like, how do I love somebody? I love my wife, I love my children, but you're a customer. I don't really love you, or maybe you're an associate. I don't love you, but that's not necessarily true. Love is consideration for the equity of the person that you're looking at, the person that you're dealing with. It's also about, again, going back to empathy and seeing, life through their eyes, so you can understand what aspect of, where they're coming from and how they see you with regards to, what it's going to be like for them to come into our restaurant. And with that, it's very important that you understand that there are a lot of different viewpoints out there, and you may not agree with every one of those viewpoints, and that's fine. But you have to have some tolerance for those viewpoints to be able to give the love to those people so that they know that they can be, safe in the environment that they're in. It's not that you necessarily, like I said, it's not that you necessarily agree with their viewpoint, but you understand that they have a different viewpoint and they're entitled to that viewpoint. And that's just the way it is. You may not agree, so you can agree to disagree. But, your job, and this goes from associate to customer, as well as manager to associate, executive to supplier, you name it. Okay, it's a tolerance, it's an understanding for everybody's different. Everybody has their own deal, and we can all live and we can all cohabitate within that structure of everybody having their own views, but not diminish anyone at the same time. With that, I have to say that, your concern for people that are less fortunate than you is part of the key to this love. It's not that they've done something wrong or they've made bad choices. It's just that they may not have as much as you. They may not be as smart as you. They may not have any type of internal like mechanism for drive that pushes them to achieve. They just want to live their life. It's nothing against them. It should be nothing that is of concern to you. They are what they are. Um, if they don't have a lot of money, we don't treat them any worse than or any better than someone who comes into our storefront or someone who works for us or someone who supplies us. Um, you know, any different. Small supplier of stuff, small supplier of the things that we need to produce our food is no different than a large supplier. Um, they all they all get the same type of treatment, the same equity, and that all builds to you really have to love those around you as much as you love yourself, or as you would yourself. Okay. You think about who you are and the things you love about yourself and how you feel about yourself and the love that you feel. Um, and you have to treat people around you just like that. It's key. Why would you not want to do that? So, when we talk about love, these are the things that we're talking about, and it's not hard to look at it, but it is hard in practice. So you have to really think about it. You have to really want to do it. And frankly, this is part of one of our values of the company and the organization. So it's something that you really need to embrace and something that you need to be able to explain to the people who work for you or the people who walk in the front door. Okay? Maybe you don't have to explain it as much as you need to show it. Because people understand when you love them and when you're kind to them. They also understand when you're not kind to them and when you don't love them. So we're not trying to do that. So again, kindness and love. So the third value that we have is justice. Okay, there are a number of duties and rights afforded within a community at large. Okay, a community of restaurants, a community of suppliers, a community of associates, a community of managers, and in the general community at large. Okay, some of those are human dignity and getting to human dignity through trust and transparency. You need to treat people right. Okay, nobody's lesser of a being than anyone else, and everyone deserves the respect and human dignity to be able to go through their day and hold their head high. So we don't diminish that within our organization, whether or not it's associate, executive, CEO, or anyone else. Dignity flows from the top to the bottom and from the bottom to the top of our organization. It's something that we live every day. It's part of the justice part of our values. Another part of that dignity and another part of the way we do that is we don't impose our will on people. Okay, we have rules, we have regulations, we have things that we have to ascribe to with regards to law, and regulations that people want to regulations from the community and the organizations and the cities and stuff like that. I get that, okay, but we don't force people to do things that they don't want to do. Bottom line, free will to live without undue influence or coercion. And that's a huge part of management. Okay, people are there to work. They're there to do a fair share of work every day, but they're not there to do things that are outside of that scope of work. and they're not there to do things that are unjust or unfair with regards to the entire workforce. And, that goes to the people who come in our front door. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to order. I'm going to let you order whatever you want because you're the customer and it's your free will to make up your mind what you want to do. If you have a question about something, I'll give you my honest opinion about, I think that this is a good choice for you or this may be a good choice for you. Not going to disparage anything, and I'm going to let you have your say. For managers, my expectation is that, your workers are doing their jobs because they want to do them, and you're supporting them, and it's a team. It's a team environment so that we can get things done. There's no undue influence. There's no coercion. That's the way it is. If some people can't get with that plan, well, then we may need to find them another position or, release them from the company and get them, try to help them find something else that's more suitable to them. In the meantime, it's not that we're trying to force them to do anything. We just want them to meet the expectations of the job that they've been hired for. Okay, so enough said on that. And really, the consideration that we have for people in general and across our entire constituency is regardless of your wealth or lack of wealth, we see your equity, whether it's in the organization as someone who helps us do our job or outside the organization as someone who's coming to us as a consumer. We recognize your equity, and regardless of your level of wealth, status, etc., within the community, that's not an issue to us. We're going to do the best we can by you, regardless of that. So we've talked about these three values, okay? Kindness, love, and justice. So how do we take these values to processes? Because, you're like, okay, you've just told me about these values. So how do I how do I take those values and think about them with regards to the processes that we have in the company? So let's talk about that. So, we have supplier codes of conduct and organic food sources. And it's something that we're dedicated to. We've been working hard at that, and we want to get it, we can trace we can trace our food where it comes from and get it done. Okay, right? We want to be able to, if someone asks, we can tell them where it comes from and how we got it. We are committed to humane treatment of animals. Okay, and if that's not a characteristic of all three of the values that we have, then I'm highly mistaken in the values, but I don't think I am. Humane treatment of animals is kindness, love, and justice. And you can see where that fits into all three of those if you take a look at the slides again and what each one of those entails. So that's important. Okay, so remember that when we begin to get to the end of our discussion here. So one of the other things we are committed to is our climate awareness and our environmental status and carbon footprint. Okay, we know the climate is what it is. It's getting challenging. Okay, so we want to have the least amount of impact on the climate. So how we produce our food and the carbon footprint of how we produce that food and how we run our facilities and how we, produce packaging that is not going into a landfill for 1,000 years is a big way that that we run our business, and we're working towards that right now. So, all of these values, all of these processes lend themselves to one or more of the values of kindness, love, and justice. And the last thing, value to processes here I want to talk about is, our job is to provide a consistent, warm, and inviting environment in every one of our facilities. Hands down, that's what we do. We want people to feel like they're walking into their house. We're family, and they're walking into their house, and they're going to have a great meal. Okay, so that's how we talk about values to processes. So when we talk about, now we're going to talk about values to actions. So values to actions, service to the community. I know that a number of our retail stores, we have people that, donate their time to the community. We make excess food available to the community. We help out and feed people in crisis. These are all things where we're trying to give back to the community, and this is an action that lends itself directly back to our values. We provide clean food and ingredient traceability. I talked about that within the process, values to processes, but that's also that's one of the actions that falls in under our values. Again, environmental awareness. With all the things that we do to reduce our footprint. And here's a big one, okay? Employees as an end, not a means, okay? The kindness that we show to employees, the love that we show to employees, and the justice that we show to employees means that they are the thing that we focus on. We focus on them. We promote them internally. We take a look at their development, and we want to make them the best that they can be. And that's how we, through actions, emulate the values that we have for this organization. And within that, the diversity and the equity that we promote across our entire constituency is how we do that as well. We're not worried about what gender you are, what race you are, or your ethnic background. What we're worried about is, do you have the same value set, and are you, committed to the values, the culture, and the actions and processes that we put in place to emulate those values as we run the business for long-term sustainability. So, diversity and equity are words that mean things, but really the actions of bottom line, we don't discriminate against anyone. If you are part of, or even if you're, and for that matter, even if you're not part of our value set, but you bring some sort of equity to our organization and can fit within maybe some of the values that we have, but not all, we'll work with you, because that's how we do our job. So let's talk about what you should take away from this training today. You can take a look at it, but I'm just going to say up front, secular and non-secular viewpoints can exist within a single organization. They don't have to be divided. You can have Christian values, or you can have values. Nonetheless, organizationally, I think that they all meld together to bring us to the point where we are right now, and under the ESG, and and we continue to develop this. Again, I see some skepticism well, why would I want to have Christian values? I don't believe in religion. I get that, but realize that the values that we have in this organization and the way we put them through processes and actions, it's universal across all religions and non-religions. Kindness, love, and justice are universal. Okay, we don't just put them aside because they're related to a religious belief. No, they're universal, and we all believe in them. No problem. Okay, our emotional knowledge and intelligence through faith provides us a moral bridge to transfer our values and our ethics to the community at large. This is important. Again, there may be people out there that are skeptic, have some skepticism about this, but I just go back to kindness, love, and justice are universal values. Universal values that cut across the board of secular and non-secular views. And in the end, business goals and Christian values can be mutually supportive. It's how we put ourselves forward. It's how we handle ourselves. It's how we treat other people. It's not conclusive to one person or belief or anything. They all work together, and we all work together. So that's what I want to say on these takeaways. And you can send me an email, send me a letter. If you have any questions about how I feel on this or how you think you feel on it, and if you want to provide me with your opinion, I have no problem with that. I will answer you personally if you have an issue. So I am always open for you to talk to me. So let's just put it that way. So in conclusion, what I'm going to say is that we have an environmental, social, governance framework commitment in this organization. It is ever developing, and we're finding out new things about it every day, and how we can implement it better through our practices, our values, and our actions and processes. Okay. And when it comes to values, I want you to remember that, kindness fosters love and justice. Okay, it really does. And, the more we can put that out there, the better our constituency understands that. And the more our organization becomes one of those bedrock organizations that provides that type of value added, for lack of better words, framework to the community around it. Remember, strategic goals and organizational culture, they show our faith to the community. And for that matter, our faith shows our strategic goals and our organizational culture. They're one and the same. So we will continue to press forward with how we do this through our actions, practices, and the way we treat people. Bottom line. And again, I can't stress to you too much that the values of kindness, love, and justice are the things that, as an organization, we should hold dear and we should try to emulate on a daily basis. So that's the training that I have for you this year. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I explained it to you in a way that you understood it. Again, I'm available for any questions if you want to. And I say to you, have a great day, and go make some bread. Thanks a lot.